Hey, everybody, and welcome in. It's the Poor Man Fantasy Football League podcast. We're the fantasy football show that gives you a peek inside the life and times of our Dynasty League. I'm your host, Mike. With me, as always, is my good friend Andrew. And this week, we're a day late, but not a buck short, because we pivoted to do the show today, Thursday, April 2nd. So we're not joking around with you guys on April Fool's Day. Andrew, are you wearing your Mario shirt in honor of the Mario movie releasing tomorrow?
No, I didn't realize it was releasing tomorrow. I just pulled it out of the dresser.
Fair enough. Cool. Well, happy Mario Friday tomorrow if you do decide to go and see the movie.
No.
My kids reminded me it was coming out, and I think we're saving it for my boy's birthday later in the month.
Yeah, I wouldn't be going Good Friday of spring break to a release of that movie. It's going to be packed.
It very well
lots
could
of
be.
annoying kids.
Oh, hey, look, somebody paid their league dues. We were having this conversation offline. We're seeing some chatter, and I'm seeing chatter in another league. And lo and behold, pays his dues. Paid their dues. Good for them. All right. Where are we at? Yeah. So, okay, football news. Yesterday, there wasn't a lot to talk about except some April Fool's jokes regarding Aaron Rodgers. Apparently, and this is actually legitimate, the Denver Broncos have expressed interest in Aaron Rodgers. There is some speculation that Bo Nix might not be ready for week 1. Yeah. So they would bring in Rodgers as a bridge quarterback, backup quarterback. I'm not sure how he would feel about that, but that's a thing.
Hey, if you're going to get your paycheck.
There are even further rumors that the Rams have expressed interest in Aaron Rodgers because Matthew Stafford obviously is getting older, and if he goes down to injury, they don't have a solid, reliable backup. Apparently, they're also linked to Kirk Cousins, but not anymore, and Jimmy Garoppolo. And why not Kirk Cousins? Because he just signed a 5-year deal with the Las Vegas Raiders. Did you see this?
No, I didn't see it.
Okay. So here's the details. He signed a 5-year, $172 million deal with the Raiders, but it's actually just a 1-year deal.
I wonder if then if they're looking to trade away number 1.
No.
For a couple of other first-round picks or something like that.
Maybe.
Because maybe they're thinking the QB class is stronger next year than it is this year. So if I give away this year's number 1 to, say, Arizona or to say Denver or to
I got Bo Nix.
Or to the Rams
or to Pittsburgh.
Or to someplace like that.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks might be looking, the Cards be looking,
Atlanta
be looking. Like there's lots of teams
that could.
Miami even.
Miami, yeah, with Malik Willis there. Who knows,
there's lots of teams that are looking for either a young potential new starter or somebody that, like an Aaron Rodgers, to be a backup to the person that's there as a just in case, right? Like, you go what was that? The Cards that are going Minshew, right? Why wouldn't, like, to me, if I was them, I'd say, hey, JJ McCarthy, why don't you come out over here? If Minshew drops the can't be a starter anymore, or if he gets hurt, you take over. He's a proven starter if he can just stay healthy, right? Or a Rodgers or something like that, right?
Yeah. It sounds like they're hedging their bets. So they're bringing in Kirk Cousins on a quote unquote 1-year deal. It says 5 years because it gives the team the option to exercise and extend him. But right now it's legitimately a 1-year deal. After 1 year, there's no money guarantee. There's no involvement. They can cut bait and run. And how it looks like is Atlanta's going to pay $8.7 million this year. The Raiders are going to pay him 1.3, and the Raiders gave him a $10 million signing bonus. So it's really $20 million to come in for 1 year. So I still suspect they're going to draft Mendoza and then see how it plays out.
See, I would almost, if I was the Raiders, I'd be shopping it around to see what I could get. Especially, like I said, especially if next year, like if Archie Manning next year is going to be the guy.
Yeah, I don't really know what to expect. Who's going to be the top dude? I guess this year's college season will definitely dictate that.
I mean, you got that young kid in Michigan who's up and coming.
Bryce Underwood?
Yeah, I get that he's a junior, but yeah, you could be looking 2 years down the road. Like if Kirk Cousins, again, change in environment. If Kirk Cousins can pull a Sam Darnold or a Danny Dimes, revive his career for 1 or 2 years, and then you go after a Minshew or not a Minshew,
Mendoza, because nobody wants to go after Minshew.
No, the Michigan,
Bryce Underwood
in 2 years as a sophomore, right? Yeah. Like there's lots of options. I think that there's enough teams out there that are in need of either someone that's going to be their future quarterback or somebody that needs a backup. Some of these guys are going to get opportunities.
Yeah. But interesting. It felt very similar to what happened to Kirk Cousins last year, but in reverse order, right? So they have Kirk Cousins, and then they drafted Michael Penix at 9. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. And now this team's got the 101, but they bring in Kirk Cousins. So he's kind of at least going into a situation knowing he's not going to be the dude, but he has a shot at competing for the job or at least being a solid backup.
Or maybe what they told him was, we're not planning to put Mendoza as a starter for the first half of the year. Here's your shot. Here's your shot. He's going to sit behind you.
I like that approach.
And if you're balling out and we're 8-0, yeah, you're not losing the job. The kid will sit until you prove otherwise.
I like the idea of drafting somebody with the intent of not starting them right away, because that could be a tough transition. How many guys flame out because they just can't transition?
And then further down in there, like again, we go to Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold. Mm-hmm. They both were put in such bad positions where their offensive line were just brutal.
Bad coaching, a whole bunch.
Bad coaching, bad teams. They looked like they were done. Everybody had written them off. They go to a different city, and boom, it's like they just came out of college again. They're revived. They love playing again.
I think they have it's maturity. Like you make the transition from college into the NFL. You're playing with men. You're not playing with boys or young men. You're playing with real men. And there's a certain level of wisdom and experience that needs to come with that.
Yep. I mean, and then you get your flash in the pans, like your guy from Texas there,
CJ Stroud.
Deshaun
Watson,
but as a rookie, was phenomenal. Or
had
even
a slump in the following year, right? A sophomore slump,
a little bit of a slump, or even whatchamacallit there in Arizona. He's not there. Kyler Murray, right? Had started strong 2 or 3 years, and then dropped off for 2 or 3 years because of injuries, but still wasn't up to par. Maybe going to Minnesota is going to revive him again. Who knows?
Maybe change the cold environment, different coach.
The cold weather will mess him up even more. But
yeah, the fact that there's not a big major video game release might help him out as well.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, this episode is going to be about the NFC quarterback situation. So we're going to go through the 4 divisions, talk about the teams, the quarterbacks, what we think confidence-wise. And I'm going to go on record right now before we go into this, because I kind of did some pre-ranking of how I thought the top 16-ish quarterbacks are going to look like. And I think this is a more balanced conference. Like the NFC has better quarterbacks on average than the AFC. I think the AFC has the top tier quarterbacks, and then a good chunk of the bottom tier quarterbacks. So if you're to put all 32 quarterbacks on a list, I think the top would still sit the AFC guys, and then the bottom would be all AFC guys. Whereas the NFC has a really solid. I'm really struggling with who would I take over who, and I'm still pretty confident through. I guess the first 10 to 11 of my ranking that I like. I'd be happy to have these guys start for me on a week in, week out basis, or at least a situational matchup basis, as long as they were healthy.
Yeah, I'm at about probably the top 11 are a lock, and then it starts to get a little bit muddy. And it's again the same situation as we had last week, where guys that are listed as the starter are ranked below the guy that
a backup for another team.
Backup, yes. So the example is the Saints.
Tyler Shuck.
No, Rattler is listed as a starter.
Really? But I wouldn't even have considered
Tyler Show, or Shuck, or however you say it, in the projections for points, he is ranked higher than Rattler, the starter.
Yeah, I think Tyler Shuck is the starter for that team. He took the job and held on to it and did rather well for the situation he was in.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's jump into these.
Jacoby Brissett. You got Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
And Gardner Minshew for the Cards. I mean, they're both close, but
Jacoby Brissett is the starter.
Oh,
they want that first overall pick.
Minshew is listed as the starter right now. When you
to me, that's impossible.
When you go into
Jacoby Brissett,
when you go into sleeper,
I don't. I'm not trusting sleeper.
No, but I'm going based off of what the team has listed as their team and who they have listed as the number 1 quarterback. I mean, yes, come week 1, it's probably going to change.
Jacoby Brissett is going to be that.
But if I'm a guy just coming into
fantasy football for the first
fantasy football my first year, I'm looking at who the teams have listed as their starters. So I'm looking and would be, especially if I don't have any experience, I'm looking, okay, well, Minshew is supposed to be the starter. But then when I go to projections, Brissett is ranked one spot higher.
I think that's an issue with sleeper, because I don't think sleeper is actually going out and looking at teams' accurate predicting all 24. Okay, so here's what ESPN is showing. ESPN's got, when did this article come? Oh, that came out 25th of February. Yeah, that doesn't help. Where is the ranking each of NFL's top primary starting quarterbacks? January 8th. Nope, that's old news. That's not new news. Well, let's just do this. NFL depth charts. There has to be depth charts. There we go. ESPN, Fantasy Pros, CBS. Okay, we'll just go ESPN for now. All right, let's go NFC, right? We're looking at Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. Okay, it's easy. All right, validated. And what we were looking at, New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints, they show Tyler Shuck. Tyler Shuck is a starter. Spencer Rattler is QB2. Zach Wilson, QB3.
So yeah, so I guess every
platform might have their own,
or publication or whatever is going to have their own opinions But
Okay, Arizona shows Jacoby Brissett with Gardner Minshew as the backup.
okay,
Where else would there could be a QB battle? Carolina, no. Atlanta. Let's see what Atlanta says. Atlanta says Michael Penix starter Tua is the backup as of right now. Ooh, let's go Minnesota. Minnesota, Kyler Murray is the starter. JJ McCarthy, Carson Wentz is the third. Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, I'll just move on from that. I'll come back to that later. All right. So let's talk about the divisions and then talk about some of what we think is going to happen. NFC East. So Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, Commanders. I think it's all pretty clear. Dak Prescott's going to be the starter. I have confidence in Dak, especially now that they franchise tagged. Oh, what's his name?
Lamb.
No, they're paying Lamb. Who's the other guy? I just drawing a blank on the other wide receiver. They franchise tagged. They got from Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, let me just look it up here.
It wasn't Deontay Johnson. He's done. Okay, I can't believe I'm blanking on that. Michael Pitt. No, that's Pittsburgh. It's not Pittman. Who did they get?
George Pickens.
George Pickens. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. So George Pickens. So they franchise tag George Pickens. So I have confidence in Dak as a starter. I'm actually kind of surprised where he ranked on my list.
I'm not, because, well, we'll get to it when we
get to it. Then we got New York Giants, Jackson Dart. He's a second-year rookie. I think some great promise, some good things going on there. Jalen Hurts did take a step back last year, rather significant step back. I still think he's an okay quarterback. And then Jaden Daniels, who was good, minus the elbow injury. And then his season ended because of the elbow injury. And I'm hoping that he is back, because he would be more of a top selection choice if he's fully healthy.
Yeah, I think it's going to all depend on his health, but yeah.
Okay. Moving to the NFC North, Chicago Bears, your Lions, your Packers, your Vikings. I'm confident in Caleb Williams, as much as I'm not like absolutely sold, and I really hope that the team sucks and they burn themselves to the ground. He did show that he was capable of. That Colston Loveland was really good for them. Luther Burden was. Roma Dunze. Yeah,
they're moving in the right direction.
They're moving in the right direction. So confident Caleb Williams, no competition. Jared Goff, confident. I am confident in Jared Goff as long as we have an offensive line. He's a quarterback that doesn't work well under pressure. So if that offensive line can't keep him upright, he's going to have a bit of a rough go, but I'm very confident in his ability to put up numbers. Jordan Love was hot and cold for what I thought last year. Maybe that's because his wide receiver room is kind of a hodgepodge of untalented or quasi-talented wide receivers. But I think there's no question. I don't think he's competing with anybody. Malik Willis is gone. So this is it. It's the Jordan Love show. Minnesota Vikings. This is where things are going to get interesting. Kyler Murray. He's in the group. I expect him to be the starter.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he's got good enough weapons.
And Justin Jefferson, it's a pretty good weapon.
But I think the offensive line is upgraded for him. The running back room is equivalent.
Equivalent. Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason. I'm not super excited about it, but it's not terrible. I'm more excited for the coach that he gets to work with. Someone who's going to build around him and do a system for him, as opposed to, hey, this is our system. You got to fit into it.
Yeah. I think that they just need to say, keep your ass in the pocket unless you absolutely have to run. Don't be taken off every other play. Like you're not Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. You're not that guy anymore.
He's never was. He's half the size of those dudes.
No, but what I'm saying, those guys will get up and those guys will run.
Yeah, because they can take a hit. Because they're 6'4".
The first 2 years of his career, he ran a lot.
He did.
But just play your position. If the wide receivers are covered, then take off and run. But
or check
make
it
sure you
down.
go your progressions first, and then run.
You've got quality running backs that can catch the ball, like,
and you got decent tight ends. So yeah.
All right. Next up, we got the NFC South. Your Atlanta Falcons. That's the Michael Penix and Tua Tagovailoa show. Did not feel Michael Penix was going to be good enough to keep his job. Now that Tua was there, I think Tua was better, but glass jaw. So,
you know what? And honestly, I think Tua is going to get brought in as the starter, and you're on a real short leash. Either you produce, if you don't produce us victories, or you get hurt, your career's done. This is the last kick at the cat, I think, for him. If he gets hurt again, I think he's
back up for life at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, Bryce Young. And I'm actually really impressed, one, that the Panthers have not cut bait and moved on from Bryce Young. That they've stuck with this guy, even though he's an undersized quarterback. The regime change has happened, and he's still here. And he showed some flashes of improvement last year. So maybe this year, this is a guy who continues to take the step forward in the right direction. So instead of having to find a new team to do that with, he's going to do it with the team he's on. He's not super high on my rankings, but I don't think he's going to compete for anybody or against anybody.
I think he's still like 25 and down.
Yeah, for sure.
For the top 32 quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's not above 500 for sure. And then New Orleans Saints, Tyler Shuck. I actually would rather have Tyler Shuck on my team than Bryce Young.
You know what? I think it's going to be a tight battle between Rattler and Shuck for the starting.
Okay,
they're going to have it's going to be an interesting camp there, because I think that team is now, they're almost going to have
for number one.
But no, they're transitioning away from such a dominant running game, because really Kamara's
done.
Yeah.
He's at best he'll have. You can't start him week in and week out. He's going to be I'm a desperation play here. Get me some points and hope that it's his game. Now that Travis Etienne is the dude, Kamara's.
But I don't think I think they're not going to be relying on 75% of their offense be running. I think it's going to be the other way around. 75% of their offense is going to be passing. So whoever has the more consistent arm is going to be the starter there, I think. Come week one.
I think it's Tyler Shuck. That's my bet. I did pick Tyler Shuck.
I think it's going to be a close. I have Rattler as a starter, but I think it's going to be a close camp.
All right, then last out of this group is Baker Mayfield for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think he's in a good situation. As long as him and his wide receivers stay healthy, he should be good. The guy's a dog. He wants to fight. He's going to compete. Very happy with Baker in Tampa.
And I think for his case, I'm going to say he's probably got 2 years left.
From being done because he's abused his body so much that it just can't hold up anymore.
That, and he's getting up in age.
But he's not Matthew Stafford old, but I don't think Kirk Cousins old, or Aaron Rodgers old.
No. But I think when you look at the last few years, he's probably started almost every single game. He hasn't been hurt too much.
He's been hurt, and he's played through the injuries. I think that's the challenge, is that he is going to
he hasn't missed a lot of, he hasn't missed a lot of games.
No, he hasn't.
But he also doesn't have any. He's like Dak Prescott right now. He's got no competition. So the job is Mayfield's probably for the next couple of years until some decent quarterbacks come through.
Until he hits a wall.
Yeah, for me, I think his wall's probably 2 years out.
Yeah, I that's what it feels like to me too. I think he has a shorter window for success here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the Buccaneers are on the decline as a team in whole.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's the team is on the decline or it's the rest of the division is on the uptick, and they're not staying with, like, Atlanta is getting younger and a little bit better. New Orleans is getting younger and a little bit better. Tampa Bay is just kind of staying
old, right?
old
Yeah,
and stagnant.
Yeah, I think they'll be okay this year.
I think
But
this
they're
is
not-
going to be their last year where they can dominate the division. And then, like I said, 2 years from now, it's a division that's crap, but it's going to be like two seasons from now. It's going to be a dogfight for the division, I think.
Okay. It's
And
still
again,
a dogfight, but they were all like 7. They all had 7 wins last year or the year before. Like they were too close. Like so, they're not really dominant. They're just the better of the worst here. Yeah. All right. Last division is the NFC West. So Cardinals, Rams, 49ers, Seahawks. Again, a very stable division. Jacoby Brissett is really the only question mark. I think Jacoby Brissett, based upon last year's performance, the fact that they kicked out Kyler, they're probably going to try and run it to the 101 or the 102 next year with Jacoby, because he's not starting material. He's backup. So if they're going to go in there with Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew, this is a team that's not looking to get wins. They're just going to play football and get through the season. So a 1-year rental, if that, at best, with Jacoby Brissett. And then we got Matthew Stafford, who last year was the MVP, is aging, is probably done.
He's not going to repeat that this year, I don't think.
No, to me, it's terrified. I'm terrified of Matt Stafford's performance. It could go great or go bad, but one small hit and his back is flared up again, and that team has nothing going for him. San Francisco's got Brock Purdy, still young, still healthy, got some good chances.
But again, injury prone.
Sure, and the whole team is. just being a part of the San Francisco 49ers just lowers your tolerance level for pain and more susceptible to injuries.
Yes. And there's walking up them big hills stretches out your Achilles and
that must be it. It must be the giant hill. They got to follow the switchbacks. Seattle Seahawks, Sam Darnold. I think he's proven that he's the guy. There's no one. Was it Jalen Milroe? That was the rookie they drafted a year or two ago. Yeah, that guy is done.
But we'll talk about when we rank the guys.
Well, let's jump into that. We talked about the teams. I think this is an extremely stable set of divisions. Not a lot of controversy or competition.
But I think you and I might differ on some of our rankings.
And you know what? I'm actually looking forward to it because I am torn between several players and where they are. What I tried to do was, like, if this guy was on my roster and I had to start him this week, regardless who the opponent was, good defense, bad defense, whatever. If I had to start him this week, that's how I approached my my ranking. Is like, if I had to start him this week, how confident am I in starting this player? And my top couple are the confusing part, and I think the rest of it kind of lines up well. But I'd love to hear some dialogue. So number 1 I got right now is Dak Prescott.
Yes.
Which I thought was really surprising because I want to pick Jaden Daniels, but the injury, the elbow, and the lack of like really high-powered weapons makes me nervous for Jaden Daniels. He's got the rushing upside, but if his elbow's not good and he can't throw, that's going to be pretty easy to stop.
Well, and Prescott's got too many proven
weapons,
wide receivers for him.
Yeah.
Again, he's like Kyler Murray. Don't be running your ass off anymore. You're too old for that.
Yeah.
Like, and when you were younger, you ran the ball quite a bit, but now just as long as your offensive line will protect for you, pick them apart. Pick the secondary apart.
Yeah, you use the other talent. Save your body. Who do you have
for number 1? Prescott.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Yeah. I find that doubly surprising now. Okay, so my number 2 is Jaden Daniels. I still
Mine-
like what the kid could do.
Yeah, mine was number 2 as well.
Okay.
And
So
mine,
Jaden-
and that was just basically because if he's coming in injury free, if that elbow is fully healed, then again
That's the question
he's
mark.
got some weapons that he can use.
I think he's still the best weapon on his team.
Well, I don't disagree. But I just I think he'll be the number 2 guy in the division.
Okay. I went Jackson Dart. I think the kid still has some things left to prove. With the level of weapons the team has, if Malik Neighbors comes back and is healthy, because he didn't have Malik Neighbors for half a season and was still putting up numbers with Wandell Robinson. I think there's some great stuff. Cam Scattaboo missed a good chunk of the year due to an injury. Like, that kid was rock and roll. Granted, he puts his head down. He might run a little too recklessly, but I think that's kind of what you want in a quarterback, as a guy who can get it done on multiple levels, who has weapons to help. Hey, look, if you're not going to respect me, you're going to respect my number 1 wide receiver, or you're going to respect my running back. Now you're multifaceted. That's just great news. Yeah, so that's where Jackson Dart is for me. 3.
See, I have him further down on the list.
Okay, who's your 3?
I got Caleb Williams.
Oh, I don't like that. That's
I know
I don't
you're,
like it
you're
because
biased.
I'm extremely biased.
But I think that again, that team is going in the right direction. And if they continue to improve and use him the way they used him at the end of the year last year, he will climb. He will. Climb.
I don't want to hear this, but you're probably very right, and I just don't like the fact that it's true.
Overall, he's probably like a 6 or a 7 in the total hierarchy.
Okay.
But in this conference, I think he's the 3rd.
Okay, Caleb, I can see the argument for it. Things are going in there. I just won't admit it. All right, my number 4 is still Jalen Hurts. And the reason why I got Jalen Hurts here is because he's still a proven pass rusher or passer and with rushing. And he still has A.J. Brown because they haven't traded him yet. They still have Devonta Smith. They still have the core of their Super Bowl running team. And granted, they did change coaches to get a different offensive coordinator in to kind of fix what happened from last year. So I'm still going to give them the benefit of the doubt. It's hard to see the level of performance and consistency from years before and take that away from him for having one down year.
Sure. No, that's fair. I have him again.
Further down?
Yeah. Okay. My number 4. And just because, again, they've got some weapons, and if they could ever stay friggin' healthy, I got Brock Purdy. Yeah.
Brock Purdy. Okay.
I mean, if that team could stay healthy and they cut back on Christian McCaffrey a little bit and give it to the wide receivers and tight ends a little bit more, like just even out, pardon me, even out the offense. Don't go heavy one way or the other. Just make it nice and even. That team again could go deep into the playoffs.
Could. Had George Kittle not gone down, and they actually had a different receiving option outside of Juwan Jennings, I think they would have done well. Now that they've got Mike Evans, Ricky Pearsall, hopefully taking another step forward, and they do get George Kittle back, I don't think they'll get him right away. I think it'll be a late start to the season. But yeah, I don't dislike the Brock Purdy selection. All right, my number 5 I got is Jared Goff. He was on pace for an MVP season last year. Did not get the wins he needed. The team imploded towards the end of the year. Injuries definitely plagued them, but I think it was the offensive scheme that really hurt them. Losing Ben Johnson to the Bears and bringing in whoever it was that they brought in did not help the system. So I think this is a team that can do some good stuff. I got Jared Goff, number 5.
Okay. My number 5, Jalen Hurts, is
okay. Okay, so you didn't fall too far. I was at 4.
No.
You were at 5.
And again, for all the same reasons you said,
Mm-hmm.
he is still an offensive weapon, and I think they need to get back to where they were 2 years ago, where Saquon was a bigger part of the offense, and that gave Hurts more opportunity to throw the ball when he needed to. Again, just know your role. You're getting too old to be, the push tush and all this other stuff. Your body's not. If you want to go to the Super Bowl, your body can't take that beating.
I think they're done with him as the tush push guy. I think they put somebody else in now. I think Dallas Goedert was the tush push ball carrier.
Hell, throw a defensive lineman there. As long as he can hold on to the snap.
Just put a big dude.
Yeah. As long as he can hold on to the snap and fall forward.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like the weight of your body should be able to carry you that 1 yard.
You would hope.
Yeah, you would hope. So yeah, that's my number 5.
Okay. My number 6, I've got my number 6 here is Baker Mayfield. My number 7 is Caleb Williams. I could be convinced here to do a swap and put Caleb Williams at 7 or at 6 and Baker Mayfield at 7.
Okay. My number 6, I go to Jackson Dart.
Okay, so this is where Jackson Dart fell for you. So not far.
Yeah.
I have him at 3. You have him at 6.
And again, they're an up and coming team. I think.
Yeah,
they're starting to put the right pieces in place. They just they really need to either trade or draft some linemen that are going to protect him and Scattaboo. Open up the hole for Scattaboo, protect Dart so that he can throw the ball, and for him to run what he needs to. So yeah, that's right. I threw him at number 6.
All right, you're number 7.
7. I have Stafford.
Okay. So you do have some confidence in him because he had a great year last year. He's a good, reliable quarterback. It's just the age.
But he won't be. I don't think he'll be an MVP again next year.
It's hard to repeat. Yeah,
it is very hard to repeat. Because now that he's the reigning MVP, defenses are going to be looking at that offense more than say they were 2 years ago or 3 years ago, where it was, they're a decent offense, and we'll play to them. But now all we're going to hear is in the upcoming week, you're going against the MVP quarterback. You're going against the MVP quarterback. They are going to step up their game to shut him down. So I think he has a little bit of an off year, and if he stays healthy, I think he's around the 7th. Like, I don't know where he ranked last year. Yes, he was MVP, but I don't know. He wasn't the number 1, was he? I thought Prescott was the number 1 last year.
Nope. It was our good friend Matthew Stafford because of all those touchdowns he threw to Devontae Adams. Yeah.
But you think now that everybody is going to hear, you're going against.
He was number 3 in our format.
In our format,
you thought it was Prescott. Hang on, I'll go look up Dak. Dak was number 6.
Oh, it was probably Josh Allen or.
Josh Allen. There we go. Josh Allen was number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I'm not saying he's going to go from the MVP down to the 25 ranked quarterback. No, he's not going to fall that hard. But I think he's going to have a tougher time this year of it.
I could make sense of that. My number 8 is Brock Purdy. My number 9 is Matthew Stafford. That's where I put him.
Okay.
So Brock Purdy, then Matt Stafford. Yours was Matt Stafford, and your Brock Purdy was up at 4.
Yeah.
So who do you have at 8 and 9 then?
8 and 9, I've got Goff. And I think the reason for Goff, again, it's a situation where I don't think that team necessarily needs to rely on him so much. You've got You've got now your clear number one running back.
Yeah,
no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's their running back. You still have lots of good wide receivers and so on and so forth. But I think again they're going to be a run heavy team. So maybe the wide receivers take a little bit of a hit, and Goff takes a little bit of a hit where he doesn't get as many passing touchdowns, those types of things.
Who do you got at 9 then?
At number 9, I got Love.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I would have guessed. Jordan Love. Love lands at number 10 for me.
And I think it's because my question mark for him not being higher is the question mark of the wide receiver room. They've always got so many guys. Who's going to step up? Who's not going to? Who's going to fall?
If they had one dude who was the dude, like if they had their Justin Jefferson, if they had their Amon St. Brown, they had like their dude, then like, okay, no problem. I think Jordan Love would actually be a lot higher on some of these lists.
Yeah, but trying to satisfy everybody's wants and demands and trying to accommodate everybody makes it a little bit more difficult. So now we're on what? We're 9. Okay, so who's your 10 and 11?
My 10 is Jordan Love. And now we are all matched up, right? So we have got everybody kind of like messaged. These are all new players. My number 11 is Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold could be a bit higher here, but I think it's appropriate. I think 11, because I'd rather go into each week knowing I'd rather have Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford, Brock Purdy, Caleb Williams, all those guys we had above them, I would rather have on a week-in, week-out basis than Sam Darnold, but I don't think Sam Darnold is still a terrible choice. I'd rather have Sam Darnold than Trevor Lawrence, right? Like to kind of like give you an idea of like, to me, Sam Darnold, sure, he's 11 on this list, but I still think he's like that. You could be okay with Sam Darnold as your QB.
Yeah, I think like with Sam Darnold, I also have him at 11. At 10, I have Baker Mayfield.
Okay, this is where you got Baker.
Yeah. With Sam Darnold, he's more of a matchup quarterback.
Okay.
So, if Seattle is playing Arizona, say I have Mayfield, or say I have Darnold and Daniels. Daniels is going against Philadelphia, and Darnold is going against Arizona. I might almost lean toward Darnold
as opposed to a division rival that's a division rival, Super Bowl.
Especially if it's late in November, early December, where it's going to be cold weather, and the score might be 13-3, right? Like a low-scoring quarterback output, as where Darnold may get 40 points against a weak defense like Arizona has. So 12 and 13.
This was easy for me. I picked Kyler Murray. If it's JJ McCarthy, it'd be further down the list, but I'm picking Kyler Murray. I still think Kyler Murray is a good quarterback, and I think he can be a reliable starter for a team. And maybe this year he's going to be a little slow acclimating to a new system. But Justin Jefferson had a hell of a go last year. I think Justin Jefferson climbs back to the top 5 easily with Kyler Murray as his QB. So
sure. No, and that's where I have him too. And then my 13. This is probably going to surprise you. This is where I got Bryce Young.
This is where I got Bryce Young.
Oh, okay. I figured you have him way lower down.
No, I think Bryce Young. Going back to the comments I said earlier, he's still with the same team. Right, he has flashes. He's made slow progress, but he's still made progress from when he came in to where he is now. He is not the same player. He is growing and maturing. And I think the team has put the right weapons on the offense to help him shine. So I got him right here. Now, granted, it's 13 on this list. It's not super high
14, 15, and 16 for me.
Yeah.
To me, there's a big drop off. Like
There's a big drop off here.
he is like Young would be like to me. I think you got pretty consistent 1 to 4, and then you got to drop off till about 10, and then you got to drop off 11 to 13, and now I think the bottom 3 are just garbage.
I wouldn't say garbage. My next guy, my number 14 is Tyler Shuck of the Saints. This is a guy I wouldn't start. He wouldn't be my starter, but I would, and I've invested in and tried to acquire him in a few places. Say, this is a guy that could do something. That could be a late round draft pick that you didn't really invest much in that is now turning out into something that is valuable.
Sure. Okay.
Especially in super flex leagues. So I grabbed him for cheap in a few places.
Yeah. And again, I could see him if he gets a favorable matchup on your starters bye week. Sure. See, again, I don't have him as a starter. So my 14 actually is Tua.
No way. Really?
Yes. I have Tua starting over Penix. And again, I think it's just a situation whereby I think the team is going to say, Tua, this is your last shot. Step up or step out.
Okay.
And then my
15
is I have Rattler over Shuck as the starter. And again, I think that camp is going to be super tight, and either one of them could win that starting job.
And then you have Jacoby Brissett as your last pick?
My 16, no, it's Gardner Minshew. Again, those last 3 teams, it doesn't like both. Your first and your backup could be the starter on any one of those 3 teams because they're all
garbage.
They're all
they're not great. Okay.
They're probably going to finish 29, 30, 31, 32.
That very well could. Here's how I ranked it. I put Tyler Shuck at 14. I guess I do favor him. Like I think this is a guy I'm willing to gamble on, not as my starter. Like he's my starter for this season. I'm in trouble. But I do like the kid. Jacoby Brissett. I think Jacoby Brissett had some great fantasy games when he was the starter, and I think they're going to go with him again, but still get the losses. Because even though I think he had 7 straight weeks of top 5 performances, but still lost. So out of 8 weeks, he lost 7 of his 8 weeks of top 5 performances. So that's ridiculous, but okay. So Jacoby Brissett is 15, and then I have Michael Penix and Tua because I think that's going to be a dumpster fire battle. I don't think Michael Penix is good enough to win the job, but I honestly think Tua is just going to ride the pine for like the week 1, week 2 until Michael Penix, shows that, hey, like I'm not the guy. I need more time in development, and then Tua will take over. So with that in mind, that Tua is a competent starter, just fragile. That's why I got him down at 16.
Well, and some of my other honorable mentions, again, like I said, Shuck. Had he been a starter, I had him up at 12. If I had Penix, I would have had him as the starter. I would have had him up at 14. And then I had Bissett and then JJ McCarthy as my 15, 16.
Interesting.
But yeah, like I said, I could see McCarthy going to hell. I could see him even going to the Chargers.
I could go back
to
reunite with his coach,
be the backup there in case Herbert goes down again. Because Herbert's been
go
hurt.
back to the coach that made you good.
Yeah, I don't think Herbert's played a whole season in his career. Like I think he's missed at least one game every year. As a matter of fact, I'll look it up and I'll tell you.
I think
I could
the Chargers need to do. The Chargers could be a much better team than their record has been if they can keep their guys healthy.
Oh no, so he has had
a full season.
So last year 16, 17, 13, 17, 15. So half of his career he's missed games.
Okay. So not too bad.
Not too bad, but again, if you're wanting somebody that is going to be not beat up when he has to go in,
right,
and somebody that you know you're confident in, him going to the Chargers, that I think would be a great fit.
Style of play is different. I'd like to, if he goes to another team, I'd like to see him land on a team that has a similar style of play, that has a little bit of run, and like, hey, let's focus on the pass, but we're gonna give you some scrambles to utilize your legs.
Yeah.
He's not a pure pocket passer.
No, he's not. But Harbaugh does know how to get the most out of him.
He does, yeah.
And he brings that. He can get him to get back to that winning mentality, as opposed to like the last 2 years in Minnesota, where it was just like
injuries, defeat, and injuries.
Yeah, and even when you are the starter, the games are always in question, and everybody's questioning whether you're going to make it through the game or not. Right? Like, I think he needs out of Minnesota badly. Not because I don't think it's a decent fit, but I think he's going to get that mentality and that stigma of, oh, here we go again. I'm a loser again this year. I'm going to get hurt again this year. I'm going to be this. Like it's kind of almost like the Lions of the early 2000s, where, hey guys, we were close this game. We lost by a field goal, but we still lost.
Same old Lions.
Yeah, we still lost. Or the Chargers of past. Hey, we do great up until 3/4 of the way through the season, and then all we do is we get injured and we fall out of the playoffs. Right? The division was ours to win, and then we pissed it away because of injuries. And it's just that mentality. Or even like the Raiders going into the season, they know they're going to lose. Right? Like almost every year.
Mental toughness is a really big factor.
Well, it is. And
winning and success.
And I've said it before, like teams like Detroit, you taste that success early in the year and then you ride it because you get more confident, you get swagger, you get the ball rolling. Teams that are losing on the losing ends of it, they just beat themselves
out of the
up.
Gate. It's harder to rise up.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, that does bring us to the end of this week's episode. Thanks for sticking around and joining us, everybody. Next week, we're going to be back again doing the AFC wide receiver situation and see what that's looking like, because there is a bit of a change in the landscape. New players have moved on to new teams. Guys are getting older. Yeah, so we'll have a conversation about that.
Be some interesting ones.
Yeah, it should be good. All right. And happy Easter, Good Friday, whatever it is you celebrate, celebrate it safely and with family and friends. So from one poor man to another, remember, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. Good night, everybody.
Have a great week, everybody.